Much love to my peoples. Greetings. Good day today. Much love to my viewers, listeners, and supporters on this beautiful, beautiful evening. um, the nature of this particular light code transmission that I am channeling to you today is regarding conscious calibrations. Conscious calibrations. What do I mean by conscious calibrations? Now, mind you, us as a people, the supreme being race, the Negroids, us Negroids who are, in fact, Nubians, who also identify ourselves as being Native Americans, Moors, Nubians, Yamasee Creek, Seminoles, Wachitas, etc., who have connections with, through our DNA. We have connections with what's called lineal ancestral representatives, who are reflections of our tribal members, right? Now, we possess the power to control our lives with open third eyes, where we keep in remembrance the real knowledge of our cultural heritage through genetic memories, right? Now, the term that I'm talking about, conscious calibrations, is a perspective dealing with multi-conscious realities, right? Now, for instance, us as Nubians, we've been schooled in a lot of different schools of thought. To bridge the gaps between certain reading materials that may have been appear to be viewed as materials that cause our people to end up in what's called splinter groups, because collectively as a whole, our people are not united, and the overseers or the watchers dealing with these particular higher beings or extraterrestrial beings that is watching us, or where they are watching what is going on with us as a people on the planet, going on into the future, a particular future that speaks about us coming out with a great substance at this particular time, as far as us ending up being in our right minds as a people who have tapped into our higher consciousness. And that particular higher consciousness is connected to the supreme wisdom of our ancient forefathers, and our ancient foremothers. In terms of us being connected to what's called the God seed. But yet, here in the United States of America, in this particular area or era of time that we are living in, there is a judgment taking place, not only within domestically here in America, but there is a judgment taking place from a divine angle in the earth, period, as we speak right now. Now, mind you, where do we as a people stand in our relation to the rest of the human family that is functioning from certain educated perspectives when it comes to their cultures and our culture? Us as black people, what culture here in the United States are we really representing that is getting us ahead, where we is on time with a certain stable living condition that's a reflection of us having for us having the appreciation of a certain higher learning, which is a certain body of messages that was given to certain learned men to come amongst us and teach us, for us to get our minds right beyond the negative slave mentality that was produced from a nigger machine, or from a negative slave mentality that was created through, or from a negative slave mentality that was produced and manufactured by a nigger factory that was created by certain European slave masters who conditioned a lot of our people to be in a mentality to think it's cool to be niggerized and not tap into certain sciences. Now, man, I want to do some in-depth perspectives that is going to make sense when it comes to sparking y'all's intelligence, about us getting the message about us becoming mental giants who operate through a calibrated consciousness, or a consciousness of that calibrates to a supreme teachings that is from supreme minds. Now mind you, we are to have what's called the mind of the Most High, or the mind of God. Connected to the universe, being the mothers and fathers of civilization, right? Connected to what's called also the dual verse, the triverse, the multiverse, and the omniverses of the original creative forces of the Most High through the conscious, intelligent, infinite, expanding mind of the all that we are connected with as a people. Once again, being the Melanite people of the sun, right? The Melanite people of the sun, who reflect a certain light spectrum, where we rooted into certain light code transmissions, being of a royal bloodline that we have forgotten about, right? Now, say for instance, dealing with this conscious conversation for my viewers, listeners, and supporters. We're just trying to make sense here and connect certain dots, you know, by me sharing certain words of the master teacher to make his words known without creating, I'm gonna say it like this. I want to get rid of the roadblocks that's trying to stop the outpouring of these life-saving teachings and messages and terminologies for reaching the minds of our people that is designed to give us life, where we will stop the self-destruction and participate in constructive thinking patterns, where we will develop a liberated mindset that will be in tune with the spirit world, where we will be rightly guided, doing things the right way through natural nature and divine love. Now mind you, why is things the way they are in our environment? Our master teacher, Panabab Yanun, Dr. Malachi Z. York, came with a message that would take us on a higher level, to where no one will be able to run any kind of game on us ever again, through the opening of the seventh seal. Now, me as a student of the master teacher, right, I appreciate that, and I'm utilizing the food for thought in a way to nurture my intellectual capabilities and spiritual capabilities that's enabling me to be the change that I want to see in the world through this process called the permutation of the human species. the human family. Now, for instance, why was we taught wrong knowledge? Why was you and I, black man and black woman, taught wrong knowledge? Or other darker peoples of the earth taught wrong knowledge for a particular period of time for 6,000 years, 6,600 years, to the point where when it came to the opening of the Seventh Seal in 1970 to the year 2000, marked 30 years for certain information to be made known through like the floodgates of truth coming through that particular pipeline of information. A lot of people still rocked to sleep and didn't catch it. Where to the point where an extension of time was given for us to be able to consciously become aware, right, of this certain message for another 30 years, which is to the year 2030, which is coming up. So for us as a people to develop a hunger and thirst for knowledge, now is a time to do it like never before, where we can tap into the potential of what has really been put forth for us to take into consideration regarding us connecting with Wu Sabat as Sabians, speaking the Sabbatic language, connected to Nuwapi through Nuwapuyi, evolving from Nuwabu, which is our true spiritual science. Now, for instance, we have, I want to talk about certain terminologies and one of the schools of thought of our people regarding the Nation of Islam. Master Fard Muhammad, who was Allah in a person of him, and by him raising a messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, with a message regarding certain supreme wisdom teachings for Elijah to teach black people regarding the black man and black woman, to get the divine message that was given to him to help us rise out of the mental graveyard of being mentally dead by being spiritually dead, through being made that way through false teachings by slave masters who cause ignorance to inculcate in our people's head, that caused a proliferation of stupidity and falsehood in the lives of, it ain't funny, but I'm just saying, in the lives of our people, to where right now today our people still functional illiterates as a result of these particular psychological conditionings with wrong knowledge, wrong information that was purposely taught from false translated scriptures, false interpreted literature and information that got our people to be caught up in what's called spookism, from a certain gospel of information known as a ghost spell, where they under the spell of the ghosts, causing our people to be in a spookism mindset and mentality compound with superstition. which is a product of witchcraft spells that have been pushed on our people on purpose by these particular witches and warlocks of mind control to steal certain energy of the ignorant, making the ignorant a food source for them to feed off of in a systematic way that perpetuate their world of technology, of tricks and scams and schemes and games and lack of loving connections, lack of real love, but where they promote hate, suffering, pain, negativity, causing death, destruction, foolishness. They just don't resonate with the frequency of the Most High, but they operate from a certain frequency of low waves, causing them to be certain evil doers in the earth that causes trouble. You know what I'm saying? Unnecessary trouble. To where they have a certain nature inside them that cause them to function the way they function, to where it's to the point where certain higher beings and certain civilizations look at them and like, you know what, they cannot be reformed because their nature won't let them be reformed in their spirit. So the instinct certain people have out here is really of a demonic devil seed. Now, for the sake of this conversation, we want to have an intelligent conversation. Like, I'm finna go into this reading material where it's a term we can speak and communicate on higher planes called the language of the birds. What is the language of the birds? It is a language where we communicate on higher planes of consciousness. Now, let's do some traveling here. Now, we familiar with the works of Master Fard Muhammad. We familiar with the works of Noble Drew Ali. We familiar with the works of Dr. Malachi Z. York, etc. We familiar with the works of great learned men and sages who came to shed light in the environment where certain people in the environment was under the influence of darkness. So they came with information, being voices of light, but they brought teachings of light amongst certain darkness to change the environment into a much more godly and beautiful environment through the conduct of the people correcting themselves, right? Now, man, what mentality is the world in? You have certain competition that's taking place to win over the minds of the people to be either for them to be godly or for them to be demonic. But you as an individual are to choose this day who you gonna serve. Do you have a mind of your own? Or has your mind been intercepted by being mind hacked and mentally manipulated by certain black magic forces or white magic forces or red magic forces? Because there's different color magic forces that mean different things. As far as, like, for instance, us as black people, we have certain rituals that we do that constitute black magic. But I'm not talking about black magic in the sense of Luciferian conspiracy black magic from the perspective in which they use magic, coining that particular ritual stuff that they be doing black magic, which is really white magic. I'm talking about the black magic from the original creative forces of dark matter consciousness that us as a people who have nine ether resonate through for healing purposes, to help make life more beautiful with the harmonics of natural nature that breeds ease, satisfaction, love, harmony, good relations, things of that particular nature, right? Now, I'm going to go here. This is the Theology of Time by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, right? And in it, this is a particular area that I want to pinpoint on, that's going to carry over to some words of the master teacher that resonates in this universe of truth that is getting rid of falsehood within it, where truth knocks out the brains of falsehood. Okay? Now, we are adults here. In our everyday conversation, or is a lot of our people thinking like little kids and children. We not little boys, we not little girls, we are grown-ups. So as adults, we should be thinking about we should be having adult conversations that show that we are paying attention to certain higher learning, like I was talking about. We should be having conversations where we speak the language of the birds. We should be speaking or having conversations where we are speaking the language of the birds, which is a conversation of higher consciousness, where this reading material is going to take us into seeing things from certain perspectives, to where we making time through motion, or through the mode of communication, where we not wasting time, but we using time wisely, where we gaining enlightenment, and at the same time deprogramming ourselves through unlearning certain falsified information that we have picked up mentally, to the point where our consciousness would be renewed through right knowledge, which is sound, through sound right reasoning, being a result of our true spiritual science rituals that will enable us to grow new brain cells through neuroscience, neurogenesis, helping us out in the area of improving our memory. So, for the sake of developing attention to the science and art of memory, is through recalling right knowledge through repetitious ingesting of the information for comprehension purposes that will sharpen our thought stream with smarts. Sharpen our thought streams with making the right moves as a result of information that is in organized sequence. Organized order that bring order to our ways, where we will not be in error of our ways. So now, for instance, what time is it? Notice how certain people is in power on the planet. And notice us as a people in these places of power. Where is our position in the world when it comes to power? First of all, we more than what we have been led to believe, because we come from the source of all power. So a lot of us look like we don't have power, right? But in fact, we are powerful, or in fact more powerful than we may have been led to believe, because we come from the source of all power, which is the most powerfulest force in existence. So how have we been tricked to think that we are powerless? That's why knowledge is power. So in knowing the reality that we come from the source of all powerfulness, therefore we are of that power also, being the God's seed. Like right now, this light code transmission, I'm gonna say that again. Like right now, this light code transmission is allowing for my viewers, listeners, and supporters to grow through what I'm saying, by the way these words is being worded, to pinpoint a certain perspective for us to understand that we have power. So as far as us exercising our power responsibly, being spiritual beings on this physical level, representing ourselves as a person, right? We have to know what our relationship also is with these corporate constructs in our society. How do they view us? How they look at us beyond the misnomers that they have created which was done as political tag names to belittle us, like certain things Noble Drew Ali pointed out about us not proclaiming our true nationalities. Now, I want to go here in the theology of time with these two particular topics, and then I'm going to go off into some supreme wisdom of the master teacher. This reads, right, regarding Elijah Muhammad. I am here from God to challenge the world. The devil listens to me every minute of the hour. He has his electronic mechanical instruments set up on me all of the time. He can hear every word that I am saying, but he cannot condemn what I say or what I am writing in this book, right? To be other than the truth. You will never see him out trying to face me and condemn what I say. You can tell him, come on, go down here. Elijah's talking about you. He will say, I don't want to see Elijah. He doesn't want to come and try to tangle with me and the truth. Now, but us who are rooted in truth, we are to have friendships in all walks of life. People ain't stupid out here unless they've been made that way. But you don't have to remain being a stupid person, being unconscious. In this information age, it's ways for our people to wake up out of the spells that has been cast on our people's minds through self-helping yourselves to see the light and want to identify with the real truths of the scriptures that has been covered up into certain codes to be decoded by a insightful mind who know how to look for certain things. Like Elijah Muhammad said, like it was like the Bible is a poison book, or it's a coloring book that color people's perception into a certain reality that is not reality at all. Also, like the master teacher pointed out, that in support of what Elijah Muhammad was saying about the Bible and how it was interpreted and translated, that's actual fact, because the master teacher rewrote the Bible, the Injil, the Gospel Revelation, and also the first 5 books, the Torah, because he is a master linguist. He knows the original languages, dialects, and tongues other than English, as far as like the original languages that the scriptures was written in. So instead of it being a poison book, it turned to they organized it in a way for us to get it, for us to be cured from the sickness of ignorance, where we became healed through being enlightened in our minds with the truth, which was designed to set us free. So a lot of our people still trapped into the maze of ignorance and darkness, to where this is a real reality, to where we have to wake up. Now this continues to read, right? I am here from God to challenge the world and proclaim that we are the righteous and that they are the unrighteous. Now, this is not hate speech. The evidence is there. This is not hate speech. This is just truth. See, us as a people, there is a great big lie about our people. Oh, black people, look how they act. A lot of them is on an ignorant frequency. Look how they act. But how did they end up in that ignorant frequency? As a result of being in a controlled environment. And you can see to this very day that the United States of America socially is a controlled environment to this very day. Like, for instance, look at the black communities and look how they operate economically. And look at the communities of white communities and how they operate economically. Who control the economics of the society. Currency or cash money is in circulation out here, but when it comes to black people, do we organize that currency to where we keep that currency circulating within the black hand, from one black hand to another, and keep it circulating in what's called and considered the black community, like certain other communities do, where they dollars circulate in their communities multiple times before it go out their communities, because they have a certain unified agenda for the money to be circulated through their hands, which is a controlled environment. And it's this particular book dealing with the creation of the Federal Reserve System, regarding how it operates and the world's relationship to it. And there's a book called The Creature from Jekyll Island, which is interesting reading material that you can check out on your own time. But back to what this was talking about though. Okay, now, I am from God, right? To challenge the world and proclaim that we are the righteous and that they are the unrighteous. Now, the evidence of what I was also meaning to say is that look at people's conduct. Look what people practice when it comes to measuring up to the divine order of the Most High's word. You know what I'm saying? Certain history show who's who on the planet Earth, right? Now, look in your papers and in your magazines. Listen to the radios of the land and watch the TV. You will never hear or see the devil on there trying to condemn me for what I am teaching. If he says anything in condemnation of what I am teaching, he will do it undercover. He doesn't want to come out in the open and do it. I would like to pull him out, stand him up before you like I am questioning him, but he is not going to do it because he knows it is the truth. So by him knowing that this is the truth, he say they will shut their mouths up at me. It's just like the Bible teaches you. They will shut their mouths at him. I am the him the book is talking about. They will hear me raging at them sometimes. He'll ask, was he mad with us? If I am angry with you, what are you going to do about it? Now, what is this anger based on? Nobody likes bad treatment from people socially. That's something to make you feel mad and uptight about. Human social relations and conditions, you know what I'm saying, are supposed to be agreeable toward one another, not dysfunctional, negative, and hurtful. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to be cool, calm, collective, friendly, civil toward our fellow men. But yet there are recordings that, or there are evidences that show that conflicts, you know what I'm saying, have been taking place, you know what I'm saying, amongst certain areas in history, to where these particular social ills are to be corrected. You know, representing a form of justice being implemented for all. So this goes on to read, right? Remember my people. I am the only man in America of our kind who can talk like this. Don't you try to go out there and do what I am doing. You can talk like me if you go strictly according to what I teach you. But don't go out there as Peter did just because he saw Jesus walking on the water. He thought he could do it himself. He had become so powerful that he thought he could jump out and on his own power walk the waters. The foolish man started sinking. Then he became frightened and called on Jesus to help him. The water represents people. You notice that brave Peter was scared of the judge who was trying to judge the Jesus in the court. He refused to bear witness that he was one of Jesus' disciples because he was afraid of the consequences. But Jesus, knowing that Peter would do this, just glanced at him and let him know, remember what I told you, Peter. Peter's heart almost failed him. I don't want your hearts to fail you. I want you to know the enemy who is trying to judge people whom he has no right to judge, meaning us, right? Who is he who judges another man? Servant. You are not supposed to take the righteous, you wicked devil, and set yourself up as the judge of them. No, we are no longer yours. We belong to another judge, meaning God. Meaning another God. Jesus told his enemy when he was threatened with death that he, the enemy, would not judge him. So if Elijah is wrong, let me go before my own judge and not you. You are not the one to judge me. You have no power over me. See, that is a actual fact. The devil has no power over me or any of us. Think about this though. There are people who give power to disagreeable forces that is of the devil, that they didn't have to give them. But yet it's their fault for doing that because they didn't have the self-respect or the self-awareness or the spiritual insight or psychic self-defense to the point where they was knowledgeable and aware enough or armed with knowledge enough to know that the power or the so-called power of the evil one has no power over them. See, it's this term, right, called hypnotism. Or a term where a person or people can be hypnotized. But guess what? There's rules to how that is done. It's a process to how that is done. There are certain steps to take before a full hypnosis can take place, to where certain subjects can become under the influence of that hypnotism. And it's through your consent. It's through your participation. Or it's through you agreeing to the suggestion that require your participation or involvement in that particular hypnosis process. To be hypnotized, you have to agree with it or go along with it. So when you disagree to a hypnotic suggestion, it has no power over you. So the devil can be resisted and rejected to the point where he or she, the demonic entity or force, can have no power over you because you don't give them that power or energy to have any kind of influence on you, to the point you will be set free to resume in your godly essence and positive energy that you channel from the universe of the Most High, being rightly guided on the righteous path that can't nobody take you off of. Bars. Now this goes on to read, right? My knowledge is from above, right? My knowledge is from above. Let me see. Make knowledge is from above. That's what the messenger said. The messenger said. Now, the master teacher, being who he is, in right knowledge, his knowledge is from above. Now, regarding all kind of topics above and beyond the sun, and like this saying goes, there's nothing new under the sun. The master teacher clearly spoke about a lot of people who are a part of certain groups and organizations that have influence to a certain point, to where the things they teach in these organizations and groups is still connected with the devil's seed. Yet, we are the God seed. We are the God seed, right? Now, man, the master teacher speaking on extraterrestrial perspectives in relation to us, who is connected to these bloodlines of these extraterrestrial beings. We have a psychic self-defense as Nubians, to where we speak the language of the birds, dealing with higher consciousness and higher level conversations, verbally or telepathically. Believe it or not, accept that or not, but there is actually people on the planet, in the earth, amongst us, and in a lot of different circles, who have special abilities that they keep to themselves, because through the media, magazines, certain books, and certain social environments, they are environments that is rooted in the root chakra of the people, dealing with lust, enviness, jealousy, egotistical, narcissistic behavior, rooted in selfishness, so much so to the point where all they do is indulge in selfish pursuits and selfish pleasures. Selfish pleasures, to where all they think about is themselves. So where can you go from there with them type of persons, with that kind of mindset, when here it is, you are a selfless person who is not indifferent to the plight of yourself, your environment, fellow man, the bigger picture of the world at large. See, selfless, godly people have a purpose in this world that's greater than the gossipers, who have everyday conversations about insignificant things that sound important to them, though. You know what I'm saying? Insignificant things that sound important to them, but yet it's not important. But yet it's not important at all. But what is important is us acquiring this knowledge of self that's enabling us to see beyond that negative slave mentality. Now, for instance, right? Look at the influence of the music industry. Right? Before I go there. Now, when I was speaking on how the master teacher talk about so many multiple issues, to where he showed a connection with certain things connected to other things. You know what I'm saying? Like the group, the Illuminati, for instance. You have this woman who go by the name of Madame Blavatsky, or this guy named Aleister Crowley, or like the Scientologist guy, L. Ron Hubbard, or the founders of the Jehovah's Witnesses, Charles Taze Russell, or Rutherford, or Mr. Rutherford, or you have these Illuminati groups, one formed by this gentleman by the name of Ignatius D. Loyola. For instance, what is the aim and purposes of these world rulers' plans, to the point where they appear to be a friend of yours and a friend of mine? Now, us as the God seed, in the midst of these powerful people that's empowered, we are to have friendships in all walks of life, right? Being free from prejudice. Think about it. But yet, there's evidences through the writings of these certain people who is considered to be prestigious in certain circles. They have racist writings. The master teacher told us, no one wins the race in racism. We not about that. But these other particular persons, is like they writing show that that's what they own. Now, why is they into that kind of mentality, supporting like the eugenic society? Who also is a part of those Planned Parenthood clinics. Who have a record of going against the word of the Most High regarding certain commandments regarding the truth of the Bible. Thou shalt not kill. But yet, abortion clinics has that particular kind of history of doing just that. It's a touchy, sensitive topic, but yet look what people are doing. Are we not supposed to see certain things when certain things right before us in the real society out here? Our eyes is supposed to be closed to these things where we don't see what's before us. And some people is dumb enough to actually be in a state of mind where they don't see the obvious in front of them. Eyes wide shut with calcified pineal glands on top of that. Now, for instance, this particular guy considered himself to be the wickedest man on earth or in the world. Now, his name is Aleister Crowley, right? If this makes you feel any better, there are others talking about the beast and the Illuminati association. This particular man's name is Aleister Crowley, and according to the little write-up under his picture, he says that he pridefully calls himself the wickedest man on earth, and claims that his devil spirit guide, Aiwass, told him that the year 2000 would see the arrival of the beast and signal the triumph of the occult Illuminati. Now wait. Who has the power to make war against the beast? The warring angel, Melchizedek. Now, what are one of the many names of the master teacher? Melchizedek, a warring angel armed with pure truth. Who fights in behalf of the righteousness of the Most High, because the soul of God is at stake. So the cure that he came with for us to heal ourselves with and not be touched by all these poison ideologies that's designed to strip us of strength, of our morality and righteous character, to where we have a resistance against the unclean things of the world. We will win over. We will be the winners in this war of good versus evil. We will win in this war of righteousness versus unrighteousness. Choose this day who you gonna serve. see what's going on. I have no problem with saying that my righteousness shows and proves that I made my mind up. I have chose this day who I'm serving. I am of the God seed bloodline. The earth is the Most High's and the fullness thereof. We rich by nature. So I resist the temptations of the evil ones and the tricks of them type of forces. I don't need them. I'm already blessed. I'm already gifted with the gifts that the Most High ordained for me to have in my life. I know who I belong to. So, in light of me taming my tongue, life and death is in the power of the tongue. So the living word of the Most High that I articulate through this channel may give y'all life where y'all will have life more abundantly. May the frequencies, tones, and vibrations from my mouth heal y'all. May the frequencies, tones, and vibrations from my mouth uplift y'all with the healing ethers or my ether rays permeating through me, through this portal or this screen or through this this audio, be in synchronization with the cure that the Master Teacher has brought for us to be healed through. The sound of his voice, which is a loving tone connected to the dark matter consciousness of the aim and purpose of the all for him, where we are to be raised right. Who raising these people out here? You know what I'm saying? Who is these people listening to? You know what I'm saying? For instance, who is these people listening to, right? Which takes me to this question. Does the media, a lot of people listen to the media, right? Who is they listening to? Or the television. A lot of people listening to the television. Who is they listening to on the television, right? The media and television play a major role in introducing the New World Order. Now, the New World Order is a particular order where the world will be under a certain dictatorship. What spiritual forces is guiding that dictatorship? Is it to be a government of a real theocracy, spirit force, which would be guided through the righteousness of the Most High? There are certain thinkers, people who think, use their mind. There's certain thinkers who don't believe that they they mean well with that. So there is a world order that is to be brought to reality on the planet. That is of the God seed, right? But yet, why do the Most High Creator allow for all of these things to be going on when the Most High is indeed the all-powerful, where based on how they describe the Most High's power in these spiritual books, to where he can just say be and it exists, and all of the antagonistic stuff will just go away, but we will have peace on earth. Or through us tapping into the mind of God, which is impossible, we can have a portion of the understanding of the Most High's psychology, but we can never comprehend the essence of the God particle. Well, we will see it to be predictable. It's not going to happen. But yet, we can have a portion of a certain spark of that intelligence that keep us in harmony with the Most High's aim and purpose, without us hurting ourselves in trying to comprehend something that's beyond our comprehension. So certain mathematics is in place for us to have enough sanity that's connected with the universal order of things, to where we know what we're talking about, But by us being right here, as far as the here and now, we dealing with a lot of things where we have to still prepare ourselves and be on guard against the things we dealing with in our everyday environment where we live in. But we just got to know how to keep things in its proper perspective. Now, for instance, this question, when I was like, who are we listening to? Now, who we listen to can either be a positive influence or a negative influence. Do you have the wisdom enough in your mind, my viewers, listeners, and supporters, to differentiate the difference between the good influence that you taking in or the negative influence that you taking in? Watch what you allow. Watch what certain tones you allow in your energy field. For instance, the answer about this particular question about the media and television, right? And this new world order idea. Answer: yes, look around you. The television is saturated with all kinds of subliminal seduction, from wanting to be white to killing you with bad food, etc. Television is filled with prostitution, drugs, killings, bombings, fires, etc. All kind of natural disasters and crazy things, man. Sick, stupid, unnecessary crimes. these principalities in high places want to promote as much chaos as possible. So when they introduce the New World Order to you, it will be something you want. This is the year 2000 and beyond, and he isn't wasting any time in trying to lead you off of the path. The previous article, right? The previous articles that you have read are no joke. So when it comes, right? When it comes down to really seeing that this is no joke, this is real life in terms of us having a good relationship with the spirit realm, with the spirit realm, with the spirit world, with a divine connection to the Most High, the All. Where we are spiritually protected, being in good hands, to where we can depend on the right knowledge that will enable us to be successful in all our endeavors. Now, mind you, discontinue to read. They drench the television, tell lies vision or visually, and tell lies to our vision. Now, they tell lies with movies of killing, alcohol, and drinking, and they make the kids think that it is cool because all the movie stars like to drink. They don't know the other side of the business, and that millions of dollars are being used to destroy your soul. So this temple that we have regarding our anatomy and the contents of our temple, we are much more than what we have been led to believe. So inside of us, right, there are spiritual senses that is aligned with natural nature that is not to be corrupted, to render our bodies to be incorruptible. So that tells something about these particular forces who want us to feed off into certain forces. Hold on. Just on chant. It's the greatest of all time. You know what I mean? Real. All right. Now, as far as the train of thought that I was on, as far as us being aligned with us not feeding off into certain forces, that these evil man magicians be trying to get us caught up into. To make you weak, basically. To make you weak. Right? To the point where you don't hear what's called a self-accusing spirit within your mind, or certain messages from the ancestors. That would keep us on the straight and narrow, what we would feed the forces that empower us. That Melchizedek is connected to the warrior angel who has the ability to make war with the beast. Now this continue to read, right? Now, these principalities and high places are teaching your kids to want racing cars by selling battery operated remote control cars, and now kids are zooming around killing themselves. They have created dangerous adventures, like for instance the bungee jumping, certain activities, you know what I'm saying, in skydiving and racing certain cars with certain miles per hour that can be very detrimental to the person. They change regular skateboards, right? And now have all different kind of like weird activities. They show commercials with people playing sports, and after the person is finished, someone hands them a soda to drink. They tell you that it will quench your thirst. You tell me, since when has a soda quench somebody's thirst? Never. It's another lie. They just want to mess your body up. Wow. They want to destroy you. It's crazy. They want to destroy you and your children's soul so that you will not be able to wake up before it is too late. The Jews control the media. They tell you all the vision of Zion. Zion is either spelled Z-I-O-N or S-I-O-N. The television broadcast system, ABC and CBS, is owned by the Jews. They control what you see, hear, taste, smell, and now they have interactive television that can control how you feel. They have you under a spell. Spell. See that word spell again. See? They have you under a spell. And it is real hard to break it. But you can do it if you want to. I know I've been trying to break African Americans from being under the spell for over 30 years. And I can feel the spell being lifted from some of you